Good afternoon, welcome to your daily dose of SirToshi's news. Good to see Arcade Rob joining me in the house. Today's day is Wednesday, the 8th of June 2022. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. The original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. So, a few articles that I want to just touch on here. This was the first one. So somebody had said here, June 6th, 1934. On this day in 1934, the SEC was created by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This act gave the SEC extensive power to regulate the securities industry, including the New York Stock Exchange. And I've written here, after the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913 and stealing the gold from the US citizens in 1933, the SEC was set up in 1934 so that Rockefeller's New World Order could keep control tabs on all newly created companies in preparation for the installation of a one world government. And right here is where we have the executive order. Look at this. Under the executive order of the president, let's just expand that. All persons are required to deliver on or before May 1st, 1933, all gold coin, gold bullion and gold certificates, now owned by them, to the Federal Reserve Bank, branch or agency, or to any member bank of the Federal Reserve. Down the bottom it says criminal penalties for violation of executive order, $10,000 fine or 10 years imprisonment, or both, as provided in Section 9 of the order. So how is that a criminal offence, not handing your gold in? Like, who's the victim? Honestly, this is absolutely ridiculous. And you know why they set up the SEC in a year later was because gold was the global medium of exchange. So money, as in a medium of exchange, is a tool that enables, encourages and accelerates the facilitation of trade. Because it is competitive, it means effectively there will be only one. The world will use a medium of exchange recognised by everyone. Now, since they stole all the gold in America, they were just like, right, well, now we just need to make sure that nobody can start another money. So they started the SEC to regulate anybody trying to create something else. And that would include issuing anybody's own money. Because now that they got all the gold, they were just like, right, now you're going to use our dollars. And dollars are security offerings, and they didn't want anybody else to be able to print money. And that's why they did it. The entire system is corrupt. It's outrageous. Now have a listen to this. This is hilarious. All right, so this is Jean-Pierre. What we're trying to say is that the economy is in a better place than it has ever been historically. This is absolute rubbish. Have a listen to this.
What I'm trying to say to you is that the economy is in a better place than it has been historically. And so we feel here at this administration, and other experts as well, is that we feel that we are in a good position to take on inflation. We are in a good position to really start really working on what.
Really? So you're in a good position to take on inflation? Well, let's have a look at that inflation, shall we? Look at this. So in 1960, there was $140 billion in circulation. By 2010, that had risen to 1.7 trillion. But by 2020, that had gone to 4 trillion. And in just a few months, from March, April, May, June, it's gone to $16 trillion. That is 400% inflation on its way, printed in a matter of months. Inflation is literally does what it says on the tin. When you inflate a beach ball, when you inflate the money supply, all you do is print excessive amounts of money, which causes the price of all the goods and services to rise, which makes everybody poorer. But where's this money gone? Well, it's gone into all the pockets of all of their members of the New World Order. Surprise, surprise. Honestly, the entire system is corrupt. Bitcoin is the only way out. The only choice we have, because it's the only way to commoditize data. And there is no other money that is more efficient than data itself. So I thought this was funny. So this was Michael Saylor getting rather desperate here. In a tweet he posted here, the best Bitcoin price signal for technocrats or maximalists is a 4-year simple moving average. Well, somebody's getting desperate because it's gone down a lot recently, and this chart here has gone right the way back to July 2013. Oh dear. So you can imagine I had to respond to this one. So I said, best ignore the price decrease in BTC that coincides with Satoshi Nakamoto, aka Dr. Craig Wright, filing suit against Coinbase for passing off BTC as Bitcoin. Since the implementation of SegWit, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin is BSV. And I'll link to this article right here. Check it out. So this said, Craig Wright files billionaire lawsuit against Coinbase and Kraken. Wright said both crypto exchanges undermined his intellectual property rights. Kraken and Coinbase were sued for $500 billion. Whoa. And this is why Coinbase have been getting rid of their hiring program recently. So let's just go through this quickly. Craig Wright, an Australian cryptographer who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, not BTC, just Bitcoin, which is BSV, not SegWit protocol, which is implemented by Blockstream, has sued Coinbase and Kraken for allegedly copyright infringement. According to the City AM, the entrepreneur claims that Coinbase and Payward, the operator behind Kraken, affected his intellectual property rights by using the term Bitcoin. Wright filed a multi-billionaire lawsuit asking for a GBP 500 billion in compensation. I didn't realise he'd asked for that, but there we go. This lawsuit comes as the computer scientist asserts that BSV is a niche Bitcoin fork, follows the original protocol, is the only real Bitcoin. It's the genuine Bitcoin, because it's the only way to commoditize data. And that Kraken and Coinbase have misled investors by marketing their own cryptocurrencies under the Bitcoin name. In the High Court case, speculation continues about the identity of Bitcoin developer Satoshi Nakamoto. Craig has already had the Tulip Trust returned to him on the 1st of January 2020, and that was approximately 42% of the circulating supply at the time. Nobody else could have possibly had that amount of Bitcoin put into a trust. That marked the returning of the Tulip Trust to Craig Wright, marked the end of the speculative period, end of the period of neutral growth, which commoditized the network and gave it economic value. And now we're in the phase of adding value, which is where Craig can come out and prove that he was the creator of Bitcoin, because the network has already grown. It's already established, so therefore it doesn't matter anymore. Bitcoin claims were first made in 2015 when Wired magazine attributed Bitcoin's invention to Wright. It later slammed Wright as a brilliant hoaxer. Yeah, because they changed their mind. That didn't suit their political narrative. A charge he categorically denies. Earlier this year, Wright filed a lawsuit against several high-profile figures in the cryptocurrency community as part of a legal campaign. Also, after Vitalik Buterin claimed Wright had lied about inventing Bitcoin in 2019, Wright sued and later dropped the lawsuit. Well, yeah, so what? No comments have been made officially by both Coinbase and Kraken as of press time about the lawsuit filed by Wright. And again, Michael Saylor probably knows nothing about this, or else he's turning a blind eye. Oh dear. Bitcoin.org court case. Last year, London's High Court ruled in favour of Wright, ordering Cobra, the synonymous creator of Bitcoin.org, to take down Bitcoin white paper from the website. Again, and that automatically gave Craig the legal rights to the white paper, something like that. The court decision was made in a default judgment as Cobra decided not to appear in court to defend its side. Last month, Cobra tweeted that defending against nonsense was a waste of time. Well, it would have prevented Craig from actually having the rights to the white paper. According to the court order, Bitcoin.org had to remove the white paper and display a court order notice of 6 months. In addition, Cobra was asked to pay £35,000, which is $48,600, to Wright to cover his legal costs. You might want to pay attention to this Michael Saylor. Seriously, if you've got that much BTC and you bought it when SegWit had been implemented, meaning there is no data signature with the transaction data, which means the transaction data has got no economic value in it whatsoever. Oh dear. So I saw this article here from the New York Times. We'll just have a quick look at this. It's quite a long one. I've been going for 9 minutes already, but it just says here, how trustless is Bitcoin really? In myth, the cryptocurrency is egalitarian, decentralized, and all but anonymous. Well, it's not actually. The reality is very different. Scientists have found, blockchain. So, Alicia Blackburn, a data scientist at Rice University and Bayer College of Medicine in Houston, has spent several years performing digital detective work with her trusty lab assistant. Hail Mary, seriously? A shiny black computer with orange trim. She has been collecting and analyzing leaks from the Bitcoin blockchain. Leaks in the Bitcoin blockchain, what a joke. The immutable public ledger that has recorded all transactions since the cryptocurrency launched in January 2009. Bitcoin represents a techno-utopia dream. Satoshi Nakamoto, its pseudonymous inventor, proposed that the world run not on centralized financial institutions, but on an egalitarian, I don't think he said that, maths-based electronic money system distributed through a computer network. And the system would be trustless. That is, it would not rely on a trusted third party, such as a bank or a government, or arbitrate transactions. Rather, as Satoshi Nakamoto wrote in the 2008 white paper, the system would be anchored in a cryptographic proof, that's proof of work, instead of trust, or as t-shirts proclaim, in code we trust. Well, it's proof of work, really. The practicality, and protected by SHA-256. The practicalities have proved complicated. Price turbulence is enough to induce the Bitcoin bends, and the system is environmentally destructive. That's a load of crap. Well, BTC is, because they've restricted it to 7 transactions a second. What a joke. Since the computational network uses exorbitant amounts of electricity, well, not in comparison really if you look at the genuine Bitcoin. Miss Blackburn said her project was agnostic to Bitcoin's pros and cons. Her goal was to piece the scrim of anonymity, track the transactions flow from day one, and study how the world's largest crypto economy emerged. Satoshi Nakamoto had presented the cryptocurrency as anonymous. No, I don't think he did. Well, if he did, he would have corrected himself. It's private. The difference between anonymity and privacy is that with an anonymous network, you have nobody holding the creator to account, which makes it a centrally controlled security offering and economically worthless. Privacy is privacy is what you would seek behind the bedroom door with your partner. You can both identify each other, you can engage in trade, but no third party can see, hear, or interfere. That is the fundamental difference between anonymity and privacy. Anonymous networks are economically worthless. Private networks are economically very valuable. For Bitcoin transactions, buying, selling, sending, receiving, etc., criteria, users employ pseudonymous or addresses, alphanumeric cloaks that hide their real identities, and there was an apparent confidence in the anonymity. Again, it's not anonymous, because you should be able to identify the person that you are transacting with. In 2011, WikiLeaks announced that it would accept donations via Bitcoin, but over time research revealed data leakage. The identity protections were not so watertight after all. Well, again, you just have to go through the blockchain, find out who was transacted with who, because they're private. So you can trace transactions, but nobody would bother putting in the effort if they weren't desperately trying to trace somebody doing naughty things. If you're not doing anything illegal, they have no reason to waste their energies trying to track you down. Oh, you bought a carrot yesterday. Oh, so what? Honestly, it's ridiculous. That's 13 minutes. Oh, is that the end? No, it's quite a long article there, but good to see that in the Times. That was published literally just 2 days ago, June 6th. Just want to touch on this one here. Check it out. Magnus Granath ordered to pay Craig Wright £93,000 in legal costs. Magnus Hodlonaut Granath has been ordered to make an interim payment of £93,000 plus VAT to Dr. Craig Wright with respect to his failed summary judgment application. Last week, the English High Court finally decided on Granath's application to have Dr. Wright's defamation suit thrown out before trial. Granath had argued that Dr. Wright had no reasonable prospect of success, but the court disagreed. Ooh! On Wednesday, the formal order was handed down confirming the dismissal of Granath's application and ordering the social media influencer to pay Dr. Wright's legal costs associated with the failed attempt, which was initially heard back in February. Wow, it's coming. Come on, Craig, proving that you are the rightful owner of the network and that you are Satoshi Nakamoto himself, the first person to ever express how to commoditize data, making it the most valuable commodity on Earth. Come on. Right, so remember, in order to get our sovereignty back, we either have a common money, a commodity money used by the common people to create government for the people, or we end up with a government that creates money to control the people. That's what it all comes down to. And Bitcoin is the only commodity money that we have, because the New World Order have already got all the gold. And therefore we're just trading in fiat currency that doesn't have any value. So it's literally a race against time to get Bitcoin off and running, which is why we need education. So we'll leave it there, and hope you enjoy this show. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy given, and I'll see you in the next one.